All the new guys and Mike.
I hope you've fixed all the kinks on that technical issues.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Okay.
Well, they had a new technical.
I watched the YouTube video during those technical, you can hear everything.
Ready?
It's weird you couldn't.
It is 6:30, and I call the February 7, 2023 regular meeting of the Franklin County Planning Commission to order. Before we get into the meeting, I will turn things over to staff to discuss meeting format.
Tonight's meeting will be conducted through a hybrid, in-person, online meeting platform. If you wish to comment or need clarification on a public hearing item, please send us an email at planninginquiry@franklincounty.gov before the public comment period closes. Once public comment period has closed on said item, comments will not be included as part of discussion. To those in attendance, please remember to speak into the microphone when addressing staff or public comments/testimonies.
Will planning staff please call roll and announce whether or not we have a quorum?
Mike Rallis,
Here.
Mike Vincent, Layden Lowe, Melinda Didier, Peter Harpster,
Here.
Manny Gutierrez,
Here.
Stacy Knifton.
Here.
Mr. Chair, we do have a quorum.
Will staff in attendance please introduce yourselves?
Derek Broughton, Planning and Building Department Director, Franklin County.
Aaron Gunderson, Planner 1.
Ryan Nelson, Planner 1.
We also have Millyanne Van Devender, who is our AH Bill, is a consultant and contract planning consultant for Franklin County, and and she's with AHBL. And she will be doing the heavy lift on this, as this is something that they've been working on for quite a while, and she's got the best background on it.
Okay, I'll now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Knifton and seconded by Commissioner Harpster. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the January 10, 2023 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Knifton and seconded by Commissioner Harpster. All in favor? signify by
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. It is now time for the public hearing portion of our meeting. Good evening and welcome. I will turn things briefly over to our staff host who will go over the ground rules for tonight's hearing.
Here are the ground rules for tonight's hybrid hearing. In-person public testimony will be divided in two groups, for and against/neutral. They'll be called upon to speak during their allotted in-person public testimony section, given their name for the audio record and position on the proposal. Call-in public testimony will be called upon individually during the call-in public testimony portion of the hearing, given their name for the audio record, as well as if they're in favor, neutral, or against the proposal. Please mute audio when not speaking. Emailed comments received during the public hearing will be read into the record by staff after the call-in public testimony section of the hearing. All comments and questions shall be addressed to the Planning Commission and should be relevant to the application and not be of a personal nature. Each speaker shall have 5 minutes to provide testimony and shall speak into the microphone. Please avoid repetitive comments. If there are a large number of speakers who are part of a group or organization, please select a representative to speak on behalf of the group. Behavior such as clapping, booing, hissing, or remarks is prohibited. Every citizen here tonight should have the opportunity to testify without such distractions.
Are there any questions regarding the public hearing ground rules?
Okay, normally we would go into a part about ex parte communications and things like that. As no item on this agenda qualify for a removal due to ex parte communication, the only item that we will be discussing or taking action on is the Title 16 subdivision code, which is a legislative matter and does not fall under the ex parte. Folks are allowed to talk about it. The planning commissioners are allowed to discuss it and we hope will go out and spread the word. And then as well as, that also applies for the Board of County Commissioners. They too can speak of this matter to anybody that wants to. It does not have to be done in an open session. There will be another hearing before the board regarding this matter as well, or more. So just wanted to clarify that there's no need for ex parte or declarations or anything because this is legislative. It's not a quasi judicial matter.
And then for the next matter, we really don't, this doesn't make sense either, does it? Public testimony, blah, 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 staff comments, we go through that?
Yeah, because the hearing is still going to be,
The order of the hearing shall be as follows. 1, planning staff shall provide a staff report. The commission may ask staff for questions. The applicant or applicant's representatives presentation. In-person public testimony for, against, or neutral regarding the project. Call-in public testimony for, against, or neutral regarding the project. Email public testimony for, against, neutral. Final staff comments, clarification of public statements that occurred during the testimony portion of the public hearing. Close the public hearing and planning commission discussion of the proposed action. Are there any procedural questions before we begin the public hearing? Seeing none, we will go to item 2. Item 2 is a public hearing for file TC 2022-1, SEPA 2022-30. Is a proposal to amend Title 16 subdivisions of the Franklin County Development Regulations.
and for the record, this is actually a continuation of last month's public hearing. We did not close it at that time. So just as a clarification, this is a continuation of last month's.
I declare the public hearing for TC 2022-1, SEPA 2022-30 to be open at 6:37. May we have staff present the staff report, please?
We're working to get it. Do you got anything up yet?
I do.
Okay, he's,
I hit the button, so.
there's a delay.
I don't have a presentation or anything.
Oh, okay.
I did, although I do have the code. I can scroll through it,
Okay.
get it up there, that'd be great. And while you're working on that, I can just say, like
Good
Derek said,
point.
this is a continuation of
We already did the rest.
the public hearing that started in January regarding Title 16, some renovations, some updates to your subdivision code. Items that are required by state law, we updated those. We clarified some things that we didn't clarify. Basically just modernized part of your municipal code. Went through and did some minor edits because of typos and grammar. And then put in the code some things that have been in common Franklin County practice. Code haven't been in this logical place. At the last meeting, we discussed individual wells section. And that is, and as it was said at the last public hearing, that was not something new. That's the way it's been done. Nobody knew where to look. Added into this section so that know what the expectations are. Update. Ooh, thanks, Aaron. Is comments back,
I'm sorry.
we got some comments back from
Tried to hold that.
Works. They made comments, over a year ago on the initial draft. And then, went out for a public comment period. We have added a few things for their request. And I've highlighted anywhere that there were changes. So the first one, if you look in your packet, the first one's on page 3. It's in 1604040 exemption. And it's a math matter. Public Works pointed out that the math was incorrect on this one.
It's, that is odd that it won't let you go up, because it's right above that. What it reads is division, okay, you got it.
Divisions of land, lots or tracts, each of which is, it used to say 100. Oh, thank you.
Wow, you had pretty good projection. I was hearing her fine. Of course, she's facing me.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you could. You want me to start all over?
He's just kidding.
It's a math matter. So we're just fixing the math. It's been in there for a while. That's really loud. So the next one is 1612-020. Again, a really simple correction. Instead of saying roads, we're saying rights of way. And that is 1612-010. The intent of this section is that through the dedication of rights of way, the administrator has the authority to require. So we're not changing any of the rules. It's just you dedicate a right of way. You don't necessarily dedicate a road. Just semantics. Clean that up. Okay, so then the next part is 1612-030. And this one, we rearranged quite a bit. Public Works wanted to put the 1, 2, 3, and 4, the numbers in there, to give a better understanding or to give a better expectation of how much right-of-way would be dedicated. And I think this is super helpful to have right here because everybody goes into a subdivision knowing what's expected. I remember 3-4 years ago when we were your staff at Franklin County and we were reviewing the subdivisions, it was always a struggle to figure out when or where or how much something needed to be dedicated. So I think this is a really good improvement. And we just tweaked the language a little bit in the top paragraph. So now it says, if new lots are proposed to be created, existing rights of way abutting the lots are required to be improved in accordance with current county standards at the time adjoining property is subdivided and shall be required on all property. And then we clarified, we took out the 20 feet because we're talking about the widths below, so we don't need it there. And then there's a new sentence, a dedication of 1/2 of the right-of-way or the full right-of-way width may be required to accommodate the improvements as determined by the county engineer. This has been in practice for a while. We're just putting it here so it's clear. Lots abutting more than one road, such as a corner lot or a through lot, are required to dedicate the required right-of-way anywhere they touch. So for each of the roads, if not already dedicated at the time of subdivision of the properties, regardless of the number of new lots being created. Minimum right-of-way widths for all roads shall be as follows. And then you can see the comprehensive plan for the roadway designations. So that's where you look to find out if it's a rural major collector or a rural residential urban principal or an urban residential. And then I won't read through them, but all the widths are listed there below.
Also, through this process, Public Works developed a list, so we, in our office, have a list of the roads as they're categorized. So if you're next to Road X, we can look up Road X. Road X is an urban collector. So this is the right of way you're going to have to give away or dedicate. And then also, of course, they have that information. But see, I wanted to put all of them in there, and then certain people, Millieanne, and went, well, that's cool and all, but then you're talking about a nightmare anytime something changes, like, oh, I don't know, the road gets annexed into the city. So we realized we'll just have the list, and this is the general. So when somebody comes in, part of what we will be doing as our review process is looking at it, looking at that road, checking it on that list, and letting them know at the time of application, you're going to have to give away this, dedicate this right of way. So.
And then the other part that we added is in section B that says the right-of-way improvements for subdivisions within the UGA will additionally be subject to the design standards of the applicable municipality per determination by the county engineer. So if you're in the UGA within Pasco, you have to develop to Pasco standards. If you're in Colotis, you have to develop to Connell. Yeah. Or in the UGA, that is. Connell doesn't. Not the same thing.
Yeah. But
Okay, let's see. And then 1612-040. Oops. We clarified some information about private access road easements shall be constructed as fire apparatus access roads and as described in the Franklin County Design Standards. Private access roads serving 1 or 2 lots have to be a minimum 20 feet wide with a minimum of so much gravel, and then it goes from there. And that was a Public Works suggestion. It's basically for safety. Fire truck needs to be able to get down there even if it's a private road.
there is one edit. We need it to 4 inches of compacted gravel, not just gravel, because loose gravel is not the same as 4 inches of compacted gravel. If that's not, that'll work. I know this is my edit, and I'd left that out, but Robert pointed that out to me. Sorry.
Silly Derek. Okay. So, that should be all of the new stuff. Didn't want to bring you anything new for the second one, or the continuation of the public hearing. Would have been cleaner to just to have the same stuff, but Public Works didn't get their comments to us until late in the game. But I think these changes are pretty minor. I think they're good changes too. So with that, I'm going to open it up to any questions you have for me, for staff. Anything we didn't cover last time.
I know in our previous meeting, we spoke about the accessibility of other GCs or developers having some sort of perspective and comments on these. Did we send that out for clarification or comments to anybody, or were they invited? I know we talked about that on the last meeting.
Well, it's not appropriate for us to, hey, first of all, who's a developer?
Sure.
What's classified as a developer? Different folks think they're developers. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, depending on. So we didn't do additional outreach. Again, it was my understanding that the Planning Commission was going to be doing that. They were going to talk to their folks and that were interested. We did renotice the meeting and things like that, but we have to be careful when we have to treat everybody the same. And it doesn't matter where, what your business is. Anybody's allowed to come into my office, ask me questions. I'll sit down, take time with them, explain what's going on. That's perfectly fine. But for us to pick and choose how we're giving extra notice to is generally frowned upon, if not illegal. So.
Commissioner Lowe and I did talk to a few people that we thought would be interested in the proposed changes, and they had time to look it over and review it. The general consensus, at least from my understanding, was kind of what we talked about last time, would have appreciated more outreach, but obviously it's understandable what you're saying, that, you know, that could look, like favoritism or
Yeah,
whatever.
because basically anybody I missed would have grounds that the people I didn't miss got inside information they didn't have and things like that, so I'm sorry, Commissioner.
No, that was it.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah, I was just saying, you
Okay.
know, we did, I did have a chance to talk with some people and, yeah.
Any more questions or? So apparently I missed the meeting where you went over the whole thing.
We didn't do, I mean,
We went through a lot.
we went through a lot of it,
Yeah,
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
That's enough. Okay. Any more questions? More presentation material? Okay. Any commissioner have questions of staff? I don't know if there's an applicant. Who's the applicant? Us?
She just represented us,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Is there any call-in, email? Any clarification of public statements needed by anyone from the audience? Public testimony portion of public hearing TC 2022-1, SEPA 2022-30 is closed. Is there any discussion among the planning commissioners prior to entertaining a motion?
You skipped the in-person public testimony.
I know. Who
Did
needs to talk?
did you have anything that you?
You do.
Okay, yes.
We're backing up. You knew that, didn't you?
I wondered. We usually never have visitors
Public
here.
testimony.
I was gonna, that's why, when I went, I don't
Come
know that
on.
I've seen Steve show up at a meeting and not have something to say. If nothing else, just great job. I mean,
Commissioners, thank you for this opportunity. So I don't give my address when I'm not at home, because this is a live meeting, and that tells everybody that I'm not at home. So I live in Pasco, I am in the county. My name is Stephen Bauman, I'm a developer here. So I strongly disagree with you, Derek,
What?
on your outreach comment.
What?
So I'm a developer, and I don't personally know anybody that's more engaged in Pasco and Franklin County in the development community than me. And I didn't hear about this until very recently when somebody pointed it out to me. I think that there needs to be a much more robust outreach process when you, when you go and adjust things that have this much impact on the development community and the rules as a whole. I appreciate what you said about that it needs to be a uniform outreach. I do appreciate that. However, there needs to be some process wherewith that there can be active outreach. I don't read the Franklin County Graphic, and I don't read the Tri-City Herald, either one. I don't read them in print nor in electronic format. Should I? Probably, but I just don't. So I don't know necessarily what that looks like. Some ideas that I've got is maybe everybody that has submitted an application over the last 5 years or something of that nature, but I believe that it needs to be more robust.